today I will be talking about my mathematics lesson. For mathematics, I planned a lesson of math rotations. I prepared 4 activities for the students to complete. Students worked in groups to complete the math activities. Each group completed 2 activities with the rotation. The duration of the lesson went on for 2 periods, during period 6 and 7. For activity 1, half of things, the students were instructed to use plasticine to make a thing, for example, an apple or a pizza. Then they had to cut it in half. In their book, they had to write, I made a pizza. I cut it in half. I made 2 equal pieces. I had 2 halves. For this activity, all the students managed to complete the first part of the activity, but only a few attempted writing in their books. For activity number 2, half of groups, the students had to get a group of objects from the tub. They had to find half. In their book, they had to write, I arranged some, for example, Unifix. I found half by, they had to write how they found the half by using mental strategies. And then they had to write half of, for example, 4 equals 2, and draw it in their book. The students did well for this activity, but they did not write anything in their books. They mostly used the hammering shapes activity to make a symmetrical picture. For activity 3, tens frames, the students had to get 2 tens frames and 20 Unifix of one colour and 20 of another colour. In their book, they had to draw what they made and write 2 different equations for each. No one on a red table did the activity properly during the rotations. They did not follow the instructions and used too many colours in their books. I made a point of explaining what to do after this rotation, so green table would have a better understanding. For activity 4, the students worked with me on place value to 1000. The students came to the floor with their calculators and maths books. We did some counting by ones and tens to 100, by hundreds to 1000. I explained how 1000 is the same as 1000. I showed them how 1000 is a cube. We practiced counting by fives with a calculator and stopped at 100. Students had to predict and write down in their books what would come next when counting by fives, all the way to 125. They could all write 105, 110, etc., with a 0 holding the empty place. They were all engaged. However, there was one student who was not able to reflect on his activity the following day. A number of students completed the task neatly in their exercise books and they managed to complete the task correctly. A few students misunderstood the task and had trouble completing it. At the end of the period, I chose students to share their work. I chose a couple of students who misunderstood the task to repeat to the class that this is what not to do next time. The students who managed to complete their work properly were an example to the students on what to do in their workbooks next time. During math rotations, most of the students managed to finish their work. However, a few students were disruptive and noisy. They did not want to finish their work, and this made it difficult for me to work with the group on the floor. I needed to make sure that I could keep the class quiet whilst completing an activity with the group on the floor. At times, the noise level got high and I had to remind the students to lower the noise level.